New Caitlyn Clark interview going viral,
Caitlyn Clark just dropped into a Chinese podcast, and what she revealed has fans across the U.S. and beyond absolutely stunned. This wasn't the usual polite, safe Q&A. Clark laid out plans nobody saw coming, plans that could rewrite her career and send shockwaves through women's basketball worldwide. The interview is already sparking international buzz, and the moment you hear what she said, it's impossible not to feel the impact. Have you ever heard someone casually hint at moves that completely change how you see their future? Drop your thoughts below, because Clark's revelations are about to redefine the way the world watches her rise.
之后，我们在黑暗中重新开始了这个问题。
In China, like people started to notice you when you were in Iowa or either in Indiana Fevers. But when people started to notice you, you already a dominant player, a winner already. But let's go back to the beginning of your basketball journey. Is there any moment you feel like basketball is a little bit challenging for you, or you're born to be a winner, you never feel like that?
That's a great question. Honestly, I feel like there's obviously a lot of challenging moments throughout my career. I feel like I probably always had a lot of natural skill, but I also wanted to get a lot better at it. So I always found ways to challenge myself. So that's probably when I felt the most challenged, is when I would, whether it was a hard workout or a bad game or something like that. I feel like you find ways to challenge yourself within those moments. But I would probably say I always kind of had a natural skill for it and just a knack for basketball, but I also really loved it and wanted to get better at it.
Got you. So mostly you are born to be a winner.
I guess we can say that.
Caitlyn Clark just appeared in a video with Chinese YouTuber Trong, and this interview has fans on the edge of their seats for so many reasons. The mere fact that an international creator landed time with Clark shows just how far her influence stretches. This isn't ESPN or any American network. This is global recognition that she's a force beyond U.S. borders. Trong isn't just a random interviewer either. He's connected to basketball's elite, having ties to Kawhi Leonard, Cooper Flagg, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The fact that someone so plugged into the sport wanted Clark front and center speaks volumes about her status. And watching the interview, you can feel the magnitude of what she's building in real time.
旁人难以想象的压力，成为全世界的女篮门面，到底是一种什么样的感觉？
We talked about the past, we talked about the present, now let's talk about the future. I think you inspired a lot of girls in China, more and more attentions for women's basketball in China right now. A lot of young girls, they attribute their interest to basketball to you.
Cool.
So how you feel about that?
That's pretty cool. And obviously China's not a place I've ever been to, but I know I'll be there very soon. And I think that's super exciting. And I think having that type of reach is something that also has an impact on me. Like, you get to inspire so many different people, so many people from different walks of life, but they all love the same thing. They love basketball and they love getting to watch it and become better at it. And that's exactly like kind of what my story was. I always just wanted to be better. I loved watching it. I wanted to put a lot of time into improving my game. So hopefully I'm inspiring a lot of people in China, especially the young boys and girls, to want to really invest a lot of time to be as great as they can be.
In New High's podcast, you mentioned the trip to Italy and Croatia.
Yeah.
I promise the trip to China will
be the best
impressive.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
that.
Looking forward to it.
One of the most jaw-dropping moments from the interview came when the host called Clark the miracle for the NCAA, the WNBA, and even the future of women's basketball. At first, it might sound like typical hype, but the truth behind it is staggering. There are young boys, male children, naming Caitlyn Clark as their hero. Read that again. Kids who could idolize any NBA star are choosing a WNBA player as their role model. That's unprecedented. Think about it. Past legends like Diana Taurasi were admired, but they weren't shaping how young boys played the game on playgrounds. Clark is doing that. This isn't just progress. It's a seismic shift in how the world sees women's basketball and female athletes. As one analyst put it, ball is ball. It doesn't matter if it's men's, women's, NBA, WNBA, EuroLeague. Good basketball is good basketball. And finally, Clark is being celebrated not as a great female player, but as a great player, period. And the impact of that is already rippling across the sport.
打球与之前的高中以及 NCAA 有什么不同？
You've been in WNBA for 2 years, Rookie of the Year. the captain of the All-Star team. And so how would you describe the past 2 years?
Man, I think they've first of all gone like really fast. I think I've had a lot of like pinch me moments because like this is the stage I always wanted to be on, and then getting to do it in front of like sold out crowds every single night, whether you're at home or you're on the road, I think is really incredible and probably than most places. So I think that's really special. And yeah, I think there's a lot of many exciting years ahead.
The comparison to Steph Curry between 2013 and 2016 couldn't be more fitting. Remember when every kid on every playground was firing threes from half court, trying to mimic Steph? That same energy is happening with Clark. Young players are studying her game, borrowing moves, and weaving them into their own. Real influence, real impact, reshaping the culture of sport. But the interview hit another level when they turned to the future. The host pointed out how Clark has inspired countless girls in China, and that women's basketball, there is finally getting the attention it deserves. China's next generation is stacked, with the league's top player only 22. And then Clark dropped a line that made jaws drop. China's not a place I've ever been, but I know I'll be there very soon. Wait, what? She's heading to China? This wasn't a casual remark. It sounds like a full-on plan, maybe an off-season tour, or something even bigger, and fans are already buzzing trying to figure out what it all means. Is Nike sending her to China to promote women's basketball? Is she planning camps or clinics? The interview didn't spell out exactly what very soon means, but Clark said it with such certainty that its clear plans are already underway. She added, I think having that type of reach is something that also has an impact on me. Like, you get to inspire so many different people, so many people from different walks of life, but they all love the same thing, and they love basketball, and they love getting to watch it and become better at it. Clark isn't just aware of her influence. She's embracing it on a global scale. She's thinking beyond U.S. borders, shaping her role as a transcendent figure in the sport, positioning herself not just as the face of the WNBA, but as a worldwide ambassador for women's basketball. And there's an intriguing footnote about her own basketball fandom that adds another layer to her story. Apparently, Caitlyn Clark's favorite male player is Jeremy Lin. Scrolling through her old tweets from 2014 to 2016, it's clear she was constantly fangirling over him. A funny coincidence given her current international spotlight. Lin, of course, became a phenomenon in Asian markets, and now Clark seems to be carving a similar path of global influence. Analysts also noted how her rise is reshaping the WNBA landscape, inspiring fellow players like Aya Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Eric Ogunbowl, showing that her impact isn't just international. It's reverberating through the league itself. Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, and so many others are getting more recognition now because fans came to watch Caitlyn Clark. And once they tune in, they discovered just how deep the WNBA talent runs. Kennedy Carter, for example, blew up partly because her viral hip check on Clark caught everyone's attention, and suddenly people realized she's an elite defender. That's the ripple effect. One superstar draws eyes, and the rest of the league benefits. It doesn't matter how fans enter the door. What matters is keeping them hooked with quality basketball. The analysis also pointed out a frustrating truth. Some in WNBA media still act as if Clark's influence isn't fully legitimate. Even the defensive breakdown discussion highlights how seriously opponents now have to game plan for her, underscoring just how transformative her presence has become. Who has truly locked down Caitlyn Clark with legitimate defense, rather than just hacking her repeatedly? The analysis highlighted the Connecticut Sun's approach, where they basically battered her physically for entire games, and the refs let it slide. That's not defense. That's chaos disguised as officiating. Real defensive schemes that slow her down with strategy and positioning are rare. The Las Vegas Aces reportedly had some success doing just that, guarding her legally without excessive fouls. The scarcity of teams who can stop her this way only underscores how insanely difficult she is to defend. Clark isn't just famous for her story or charisma. She's elite on the court. Add in the fact that WNBA tickets are far more accessible than NBA games, and families can bring their kids to watch her live for a fraction of the price. That exposure at formative ages creates a new generation of fans who grow up idolizing WNBA players, shifting perceptions of women's sports. And with Clark openly talking about inspiring girls in China and planning a visit soon, it's clear she grasps the global scale of her influence and is actively shaping the future of women's basketball worldwide. China is a colossal market for basketball. The NBA has spent decades building a massive fan base there. If the WNBA can secure even a foothold, the opportunities for growth, sponsorships, and media exposure are enormous. And Caitlyn Clark is perfectly positioned to be the face of that expansion. The comparison to Stephen Curry fits perfectly. Curry reshaped basketball at every level, inspiring kids to shoot more threes, shifting team strategies, and redefining modern offense. Clark could do something similar for women's basketball, not just in playing style, but in how the sport is marketed, watched, and valued worldwide. What makes this Chinese podcast so significant isn't just what she said, it's that it happened at all. A content creator with major connections sought her out, focusing the conversation on her global influence and her plans to bring that impact to China firsthand. This is the moment Caitlyn Clark begins her rise as an international sports icon, not just an American basketball star, a whole new level of influence. The fact that young boys are choosing her as their basketball hero signals a cultural shift that can't be overstated. For generations, male fans admired women athletes, but rarely emulated them. That barrier is falling, and Clark is leading the charge. When both boys and girls see a female athlete as someone to aspire to, it's progress that stretches beyond sports and a broader cultural change. Clark's awareness of her reach shows maturity beyond her years. She talks about inspiring people from all walks of life who share a love of basketball. She isn't just playing for stats or championships. She's playing for everyone who sees themselves in her story or finds inspiration in her game. Her plans to visit China soon are huge, signaling a strategic effort to build her global brand, with partnerships, appearances, and tours already in motion. Clark is being positioned not just as the face of the WNBA, but as a global ambassador for women's basketball, a platform and opportunity on an entirely different scale. This Chinese podcast reveals she's thinking